What up, YouTube? So today is going to be part 4 of the Honda Civic K24a2. Today we got to get a lot of stuff done because I want to see if I can get this car started. So first thing we're going to start getting to is the wiring harness. So as you can see, I think this one's from Jack Spania. Pretty simple setup. It just utilizes pretty much this plugs over here. So these two plugs over here are gonna go into this plug and this plug right here. So that'll get our power and our signals. And then this one's gonna go to the ECU, the E plug. This is the C101, and these are the wires that we gotta run. So we got the coolant, fan, check engine light. We should have ELD right here, and fuel that we got to wire up. I'll get the diagram since they didn't come with one. Show you guys which wires, but I believe MIL is green orange, ELD is green red, and the fuel I believe is green yellow, but we'll go over that for sure. Right now I'm gonna start running this wiring harness and then get it to the other side where the ECU is going to be and tuck it all under the dash. Once we get that ready, we'll start going over the wires and start tapping in to which ones we need to use off of the plug, and I'll show you which plugs and everything that I cut the wires from. And then we'll go from there. Like I said, we still got to do we're going to do the headers today, axles, engine harness, and hopefully after all of that we can get this thing started. So I'm gonna go ahead and start knocking this out and then we'll come back. Alright, so we're back and I'm gonna go over the wiring. So you got 6 wires that's provided by the pretty much the Jack Spania harness that they provide. Some harnesses are different. Not all harnesses are the same conversion harness. They do wire theirs different. I'm gonna start with these 3 wires since I haven't been able to connect them without the engine harness, and 2 of them actually go to the motor. So the first one is this fan switch. So pretty much we got the K-tuned hoses that will be able to put a fan switch on that. So we're gonna run that to the actual we're pretty much gonna cut our own wire from the stock one, and then we'll run the fan switch with this in the ground. So you just have to ground this anywhere you're close to. Pretty much underneath the radiator support is where I ground it at, and then you tap this in with the plug, and then that'll give you your fan. And then this charge light, this is the blue one, this is going to tap into B10 on the engine harness. And then the coolant, that's going to actually go to I'll show you. To this right here. So that's going to be our coolant temperature sensor. We'll get the reading from there. On the actual engine harness, when I install it, there's actually some extra wires that extend it, so I'll just be able to use that and tap into there. And then like I said, I'll show you the fan plug later. I pretty much tuck this in, and then I'm going to put this back in and tape all this back up. So that's how it's connected pretty much. And then we'll go over the other 3 main wires, which is the MIL, ELD, and fuel pump. So this is going to be your A plug. So I got it's going to be the 4th wire on top right here, which is green yellow. And then we got green orange, which is our MIL. And then on the other plug, the second bigger plug, is going to be the ELD, electronic load detector. So tap those 3 wires. Those are all connected right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just install the headers and get those ready. I gotta put the O2 sensor on. These are the headers we're gonna be running. If you haven't been watching the Ram style, I'm gonna get the O2 sensor installed, and then we'll get these on, and then we'll come back and start working and installing the engine harness. Alright, so we're back. We got the headers installed, PLMs, Ram header, and pretty much now we're gonna start getting to the engine harness. This is a tucked harness, so pretty much everything is labeled. We're pretty much just gonna be running these main plugs inside. So we got 2 that goes to the ECU, and then this one is going to be going to the C101 plug, and then the other plug, the E plug, will be going to the ECU as well. So we're going to run this through the inside. We're just got to take off that little cover right there, and we'll get that going. Running an engine harness is pretty simple. What you want to do is look for like the main stuff, which is like the coil packs. That'll help you a lot to start with. Everything next to the coil packs is pretty much going to go all on this side. So this is all the VDC, crank, VTEC, and pressure, and oil pressure. So that's all going to go on this side. And then, like I said, everything's pretty much set to go over here. So these are going to be like knock sensor, all your audio control valve, and then this is the auxiliary. So this wire we just picked, I'll probably pick the green one. That'll go right here, and then on the other side it'll reach for the temperature, and then the white wire we'll probably use for the fan. So that'll be able to go to the plug, and then the other side will be grounded. Other than that, we just got speed sensor, fuel injectors, etc., crank, TDC. So we're gonna go ahead and start installing this real fast. We'll get most of it, and then we'll probably get to the valve cover, since we gotta install the spark plugs and the valve cover gasket and everything, get everything tightened up. So pretty much we're almost getting there to get this thing started. So I'm gonna run this harness, and then we'll go over everything, and then next, I think after that, we'll be going for coolant. We got the k24a2 lower radiator hoses and water pump housing. Most likely gonna have to take the starter off to get the water pump housing on, so we'll get to that as well. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this harness installed, and then we'll come back and see what else we gotta do. Alright, so we're back right now, and pretty much got all the plugs installed. I still got to do the knock sensor because I got to swap that out. The K24s and the Type S's are different. We do have the knock sensor here, so I'm going to do that next. I'm also going to start getting to the coolant lines and everything. Got the valve cover gasket kit all installed with the new cover. Still got to get spark plugs. I might just use the old ones for now, or I don't know, depending if we have time, just go get new ones. Other than that, I wanted to show you guys the power steering pump. So on EG, this pump sits super high. We have ordered the I think it's Jackson Racing supercharger pulley. I'll have to see exactly what pulley it is, but it's a little bit smaller, so hopefully when we get that, that'll help a little bit, and then we might have to shave a little bit off the skeleton to get the power steering working. Not too many people have power steering in EGs, especially K24. I know K20 is a lot easier, but let's go ahead and get to what I wanted to show you, which is with the ECU. And a lot of people make this mistake, so what I'm going to do is show you. So this is the 2 plugs that came off of the engine harness. They're always together. Do not separate this, because this plug actually plugs into the E plug. I've seen a lot of people with swaps who actually put the E plug into this plug, and nothing happens with the ECU. They can't upload anything, or it just doesn't work, because that's just not where it gets its power from. So these 2 plugs even from a stock harness, keep those together. They go on the same side. E plug is separate by itself. This is your output signals. So pretty much that's how that goes. C101 is pretty self-explanatory. Now on this kit, this came with the extra wire. So this wire is going to be the temperature gauge. So I'm going to connect that to this one right here, the blue one for temp. And then, I'm sorry, that's going to be our B10 charge harness. It's the white wire. So this white wire is going to go to this red wire. Like I said, every harness is different. Usually this wire would just go directly to the sensor up there, which we could have used with this extra one, but it's already tied in. So I'm going to connect that to that. This blue wire goes to B10, so that should be, I believe, this blue wire right down here. It's just, like I said, 10 wires, or 10 over, so most likely gonna be the light blue wire under there. I have to check just to make sure. I'll come back and show you guys after I tap it in. You have to tap it in though, you don't cut that wire, you just use a T-tap. And then on the fan, it's already wired, so I have to go to the directions and figure that wire out, which would be the last wire as far as from the Jack Spania harness. After that, I'm pretty sure that should be it. As far as grounds, we pretty much got the one from the harness, which is tapped right here. Do not put right here. This is an actual ground from the engine. This is a not ground from the valve cover, so that won't work if you do ground it right there. And like I said before in the last video, I like to ground the side cover for the engine, the manifold, and then we got one on the transmission. So pretty much our harness is ready. Now I'm just going to start getting to the coolant system so we can run the rear hoses, and then install the water pump housing. And then after that, we should be able to get to the radiator and install the hoses in that. And then hopefully, if everything comes together right, we can put a map on this thing and get this car started. So I'm gonna start knocking that out. Alright guys, so we got the car running. It's just a quick startup video. I still got a lot of little stuff to do that I wanted to get to, but in the next video I'm gonna tie everything up. We'll get a good start on here. And we still got to do axles, half shaft, AC, power steering, a lot of little stuff we still got to get to, but the car does run now, so pretty much it did start on the first try also, so that's cool. Other than that, if you haven't, like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next video.